How has raising a child with special needs changed you? And are you on the same page as your significant other or your husband, spouse, etc.? We thought, keeping Father's Day in mind, that it might be nice to hear from a veteran dad. So, a few years back, I interviewed my husband, Tom. So, I did post this a while ago, but I think it bears repeating. I asked him, how has raising a child with special needs changed you? I also asked him about acceptance, his own, coming to terms with raising a child with special needs. And I have to share with you his answer surprised me a little, and I think it's worth pointing out and sharing for those of you that may be younger and on this journey to maybe start the conversation. Maybe if needed, even seek some counseling. Hopefully, this can get us started in the mood for also celebrating Father's Day and celebrating the men in our children's lives who make a big difference. Enjoy this video. How has raising a child with special needs changed you for the better? Hi, I'm Shantae, creator of Parenting Special Needs magazine. I'm also a special needs parent. And I often say that raising a child with special needs, my youngest daughter, Kaylee, has changed my life forever and in many ways made me a better person and probably a better human being. I thought, let's hear from a father. So I asked my husband, Tom, to share with us and give us his perspective on how raising a child with special needs has changed him, if it's changed him.
Okay.
Has.
Has it changed me? Of course. Anybody who has a child with special needs is forever changed, irrevocably changed. We're no different. But it's made me a lot more uh, patient, tolerant, understanding, um, dare I say, evolved to a certain level because, admittedly, when we first found out that, Kaylee, our youngest daughter, had special needs, I went through the anger phase. I internalized it a lot, but it took its toll on the outward me, if you will. I was mad at God among other things, like why me? I'm sure a lot of you may understand that or might have gone through it yourselves. I'm not saying everybody does or that you're supposed to, but it happened to me. And then the silver lining sort of kicked in and showed itself to me and revealed itself to me. And what was revealed to me was this: who has the special needs? Kaylee knows no enemies. She wants to be everybody's friend. She loves everybody. She has no enemies. So who's really the challenged people? You know, we could learn an awful lot from them. I've always maintained that, and because of that, I have uh, I've been changed by that. I look at people a lot more um, patiently, a lot more understandingly, with a lot more understanding. I try to see where they're coming from and know where they're coming from, and take the extra few seconds that it really takes just to stop and smile and say hi. A lot of people don't do that, and it's a shame. But because of Kaylee, I am more acutely aware of it every minute of my life.
Okay. Is there a lesson in there? Is there one lesson in particular that you can think that really changed you
Sure, we should
from
be
being her
loving
father?
everybody. Yeah, we should be loving everybody. I'm not saying that Kaylee. We're not saying that Kaylee is perfect. She's not.
No.
She's challenging at
Challenging
times,
at times.
and none of you can relate to that, right?
No.
But like the old saying goes, the 5% of joy is well worth the 95% of frustration and aggravation that tends to go along with all types of parenting, not just special needs. But what's the one lesson I could learn from all of this? Love. I think all of us can learn that. I mean, we're here to love one another, to get along with one another, to get along with one another. We're not here to. I'm not preaching. We're not here to wage battles. We're here to get along and help each other. We get however many trips around the sun, as they say, in an 80-year life or a 90-year life or if you're lucky, a 100-year life. That's still a short path in the grand scheme of things, and we're going to waste it being mad at each other over stupid stuff. The truth is, there's real no stupid stuff to Kaylee. she just loves people. She loves us. She wants to be a part of the conversation. Yeah, guess what? She wants to be a part of the conversation at 9 o'clock at night when you just want to chill out.
Well, you
But
just want to
but she still
relax.
wants to be part of the conversation. And in the grand scheme of things, do we get frustrated? Do I get frustrated? Of course. When I think about it the next day, what was I getting mad at? She just wanted to spend time with me, and I just wanted to do what? Relax. I'm not saying that we don't have the right to relax. God knows we could all use a break. But in the grand scheme of things, where's the priority? So Kaylee's continues to teach me that.
Is that a form of patience?
It's a form of something, folks. It's a form of nails on a chalkboard sometimes. But yes, I think in the grand scheme, it is a patience. It's a patience and understanding thing to me.
Some things are more. So, have you ever felt that you've been judged or because you have a child with special needs?
No, none of us are ever judged, are we?
Well, share.
We're all yeah. Yes, the answer is yes. In case my attempt at being silly and sarcastic wasn't plain enough. Yes, we're all judged. I've been judged. Our daughter, our oldest daughter, Brittany, who does not have special needs, has been judged. So yeah, we've all been judged, and it's happened. It's happened with friends of mine. It's happened with coworkers, colleagues of mine. But the truth is, once the dialogue starts, they change.
But what do you mean more? Let's explain judge because I'm saying it like everybody knows. But can you give an example about judged?
Sure.
Like
Sometimes they'll try to be on their best behavior around you when they think that you're not listening or you are listening. So that's a form of judgment. Hey, we can't say what we're really thinking right at this second because Tom's over there. Or at the same time, the judgment occurs when, hey, we were going to ask you to go, but you got a kid with issues and you can't go, and hey, Tom, but then it's that kind of a thing,
right?
And none of us can relate to that, can we?
No.
But it's all a form of judgment, folks. Somebody is transferring onto you what they think is going to happen if they ask you X, Y, and Z, and it's not that. It's not that way at all. The truth is, judge not, lest you shall be judged, right? I mean, that's
another quote from
I got a million of them. Just ask me.
Okay. And have you ever had to educate or raise awareness for your friends?
As it relates to Kaylee, of course. Oh yeah. But I can tell you this: that in those instances where I have to maybe explain's the wrong word. Maybe just sort of help my friends understand where I'm coming from and what's going on in the world that I live in, that we live in, the special needs community lives in. Once I diplomatically and sometimes not so diplomatically tell them, it's a whole different ballgame from there on out. And once they meet Kaylee, once that happens, they all love her, of course, and Kaylee's got more uncles than you can shake a stick at,
Yeah.
and they are incredibly protective of her. I mean, they would go to the wall, trust me, to defend her. So she does change people's perspectives, changes their understanding, their patience. It
Right.
changes a lot of things.
I wanted you to share about when you had to kind of educate the men from the mortgage club. Or I'm not going to say mortgage club, but
I
your
know what you mean,
office.
yeah.
You kind of they went out to lunch, and can you share that story because I
Sure.
think that's important.
Sure. In one of the business ventures I did, we were at lunch, and the waiter had some disabilities. The waiter was still working, so that was a
That was positive.
definitely a positive, and I applaud him for that. But the guys at the table didn't know anything about my background. I was relatively new to the company, and so they were not exactly nice behind his back, and they were saying some snide comments, and they were mocking him, and so I just let them, play it out, and as they say, I let them effectively put their feet in their mouths, which they did admirably. But that being said, as soon as the waiter walked away, I said, "Hey guys, do any of you have a sibling or a loved one with special needs? Nephews, nieces, anything?" They said, "No." I said, "Any of you have a child?" "No." "Well, I do." Silence. You could have heard a pin drop. So I explained the situation to them just briefly, and it was, holding the mirror up to them, and it literally changed every one of them. There were six guys at the table plus me, and it changed every one of them. And I can tell you that it's not just lip service; they changed. And so, acceptance is such an important thing in our community, in the community, the greater community, the normal community at large.
There's no such
is
thing as a
there's no
normal.
such thing as normal, right? So they changed. So it can happen locally, it can happen globally. So
And I think what you now mentioned that he's now educating others.
through his church,
Yeah,
yeah,
through his church.
he's
One of the
involved in
guys.
church and he advocates for the special needs community. And this is a guy, by the way, with no children. Think about that for a second. And he advocates for special needs kids. It's pretty amazing what happens, but it can happen. I'm not
Right.
saying it happens all the time, and unfortunately, it needs to happen a heck of a lot more, but it can happen.
Right. And I have to jump in and share about that too, because Tom was relatively new at the job. So a new job, doesn't want to step on toes, doesn't want to say stuff. But, all of us that are advocates of, special needs families who are out there, like, charged to be advocates, it's kind of hard to keep your mouth quiet when you want to, like, jump down someone's throat. But you had to
Jump down?
kind
How about strangle?
of, right. So you have to, you know,
I'm not advocating violence.
right. We're
Sorry.
not saying any of that. But when you want to speak your piece, and, the right way to do it is not always easy either. So,
And it's not always direct. Sometimes it takes a little diplomacy,
yes.
but it can still be done, and it still gets done,
Right.
you know.
And do you think that, what about acceptance? I mean, did you have a hard time? I mean, I know I've shared before about my personal acceptance of coming to terms with the fact that we have a child with different abilities, and that's
You're
something
talking
they
about
can.
your accepting?
I'm talking about my acceptance, my personal acceptance. So, do you have a something you can share about, like, when you
Finally
finally
accepted
accepted
it?
it? Because I think it comes at different stages. I mean, I think it doesn't happen like, oh, your child's born and yes, you love them. That's not what I'm talking about. But it's talking about, I'm not trying to fix her, which that was many years of me trying to fix her. Then it went into, I need to accept her for who she is,
You
love
mean
her.
there's no owner's manual that says on page 3 it's going to happen like this? No.
No, there's not. And I
Right.
wish. I keep trying to get that manual. I'm trying to create it for all of us
Exactly.
with a magazine. Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
because I don't want, I mean, your story is different than mine, and mine because I've shared it publicly, but
Right. Well, at first I did not accept it. I gave lip service to accepting it because I think that as parents, and again, I'll speak for us, when we first found out, I went through well, I guess as a husband, I'm supposed to be supportive, I'm supposed to be understanding, I'm supposed to say we'll get through it. I did all the things that I thought I was supposed to do. The truth is, that's kind of from the teeth out. And inside, I really wasn't coming to terms with it. And I'm sure a lot of you in the special needs community can understand. In fact, the other day I was on the computer and I was just going down the rabbit holes Googling. And the mortality rate, the divorce rate in marriages amongst families that have special needs children, as of 2010 was 80%, and in 2016 was 92%. That's really sad. I mean, it's sad enough in the regular, I'll use the word regular marriage without a child with special needs, the divorce rate's greater than 50%. It's a sad statement. The point is, it's not easy,
no, it's not
and
easy.
it's frankly it's downright.
Challenging.
We'll use challenging because this is a family hour here, but yeah, I could use a lot of colorful words that you could all relate to. But the truth of the matter is, it took me a while to accept it. And in the interim between the time that I said I accepted it from the teeth out and till I really did accept it and really in my heart of hearts accepted it was several years.
Right.
And during that several year period, it took its toll. It took its toll on our marriage. It took its toll on me. It took a toll on our relationship. It's not easy, folks.
No,
And
it's
I,
not
and I
easy.
know that I'm preaching to the choir, so to speak, but
We're sharing because we want you all to know too that it's not easy, and
this is the real world.
right. And Tom and I have been married for 29 years. Yes, I think, high five because it's not been
It only
easy.
seems like 7 minutes
That's my line.
underwater.
Underwater, yes. That's what we always say, or I say on fire, but we're sharing because it
It's
is
not
hard.
easy.
It's not
Yeah.
easy. And one other point that I want to make on this is that, mama bears are out there, and I think there's also daddy bears, but you don't hear from them as often. Not saying that they're not daddy bears in their own way, but maybe they're not as vocal, but men sometimes aren't. But anyways, my point to this is that we each have different ways of dealing with our children and handling our children. And that has also been something that's been extremely challenging for us because he handles things one way, I handle things another way. And, just like any other typical child, it's not easy. And trying to work that out. And also, I'm a mama bear. I push. I want, I expect things, and I think sometimes I'll not throwing you under the rug, but sometimes I think you're easier on Kaylee on certain things.
That's true on
On certain
in certain
things.
aspects, but I think that's the way it is with a lot of
Well, I
parents.
think it is.
I'm
That's what
not
I'm
going to say
saying.
all because I don't know every parent out there, but the truth is, I think with a lot of kids, one parent is the enforcer of the discipline or the rules or the regulations, and the other parent is okay, I know your dad said this, but how about that? Or I know your mom said
Right.
that, but how about this? you know, it's a work in progress. There is no owner's manual. I wish to heavens
I
there
know.
was, but there's not.
We all need one.
Yeah.
Where is it? And everybody has different. Every child is different. So there you go.
Right, and
And
there's the other side of
no
the
matter,
story.
everybody's different.
Right.
Nobody is the same. So whether it's
And
it's any disability,
everybody has their challenges.
right.
And every family is different. That's all I was trying to. Has Kaylee changed my life? Yes. Has she changed it for the better? Yes. Has she changed me forever? Irrevocably changed me?
Yes.
Yes. Would I want it any other way? Depends on what day you're asking me.
Ah,
No, I mean, what I mean is there are some days I go, what in the world, why? And there's other days that I go, why not? And I don't think that that's a unique perspective for parents who have children with special needs. We're human, we're fallible. We have, emotions up, good, up, down, good, bad. And you and I are no different, Shantae.
we're not. Oh my gosh! Now he tells me.
The manual again. Where's the manual?
Where's the
That's
manual?
on page 47, by the way, third paragraph. We're all different.
We're all different. And we all
So,
have a different set of tools in our toolbox. That's what I think.
yes.
That goes with our special needs children, too. All of their tools are different. And,
Yes.
some of them, I don't know, we all need different tools. Just might not know exactly which ones we need just yet. Anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate you sharing with us, Tom. I
Well,
think it
thank
was
you.
good to hear a man's perspective, or a father's perspective,
How
and
about both?
yeah, mother and father, since I have to open my mouth and get my 2 cents in. Don't, oh my gosh, you guys, he's not invited back. Thank you for watching. Please join us next